One thing that we can do is distract. Sometimes we feel that avoidance is problematic because we're not dealing with the problem. But in situations of panic, distraction is actually very helpful. My whole mind can't be consumed with this because I'm going to be distracted with something else. So it could be something basic like tapping my fingers to a rhythm or trying to remember lyrics of a song. It could be something more complex like putting together a puzzle or deep cleaning the bathroom, but some kind of way to have our mind on something else. And that doesn't totally alleviate the anxiety, but it pulls back some control of our mind. Assigning worry time is to say, okay, I'm going to set aside time at 8 p.m. till 8:15 that I'm going to focus on whatever it is that's frightening me. And then at 8:15 or 8:30, we stop and we move on. So it gives us a sense of control. One of the issues we have in life today, we're so immersed with technology. Everywhere you look, you kind of have this messaging. It's like, back in the day, people would sit down at 8 p.m. and listen to the news. And now it's like every hour, we find ourselves reading these obscure articles or stories that have nothing to do with us, that are just increasing our sense of panic and anxiety. A mantra is good, just having something that we can repeat to ourselves. We have tefillah, right? Prayer is a great way, right? It's repetitive and it kind of has the same things that we say every day, and it's comforting, and it can be musical, but just anything. We can say to ourselves like, this too shall pass. Another thing to focus on is self-care. Sleeping properly, eating properly, taking a bath. I think that for many of us, we're falling back maybe on bad habits, right? Where like maybe, you're home all day, so you're eating all day, and maybe you're not making the best choices, and that's normal, and it's a way that we cope. So these are kind of the things we want to think about, is how are we taking care of ourselves? How are we honoring ourselves and making sure that we are our best selves considering the circumstances? Another thing is to create a schedule, right? So to have a regimen or a schedule and balance that with flexibility. Albert Ellis, one of the early psychologists, calls it masturbation. All the things we must do. I must do this, I must do that. And we got to just kind of dial it back and be like, this is good enough. If it's like 80-20, 80% is on and 20% is off, that's okay. The last thing that is often used for calming anxiety and general well-being is our breathing exercise. These are things that we can do that kind of help us check in, right, to our physiological system, right? So kind of, are we breathing okay? We sometimes are not breathing, we don't even notice. There are many good things about the Jewish community, but one of the really good things are how we show up for each other. And right now we kind of feel helpless. How do we show up when we can't actually show up and knock on the door? So, if it's a matter of writing a letter or a video call or sending a food basket, like we need to figure out ways to be there for each other.